what about us is the point. So Tesla even notified President Roosevelt that he had invented a death ray. This was shortly before he died, which is the genesis of this whole thrust of microwave technology. And in the 50s, there was the emergency of radio wave sickness in Moscow and Leningrad. And then in the 60s, the British were experimenting with frequencies to modify our minds. What they did, there's a gentleman, he's a lecturer in advanced physics. He was here in Dublin in April. His name is Barry Trout. He interviewed spies after they had been exposed to the radiation because they were refining their techniques to control the moods of people and how they were feeling as they were going about their daily business. So this technology has been around for quite a while. They know what they're doing, and it's been suppressed, basically. And we think it's for our own benefit because we're being defended. That we're the good guys, and our government is protecting us. So. So, what is the result of all this? Well, we know that microwaves affect us. There are all kinds of disorders attached to this. The sleepiness is one of the first ones. Depression, headaches, hyperactivity, that's ADHD, for instance, high blood pressure, microwave syndrome, which is a combination. It can be both hyperactivity and then low mood swings, chromosome damage, DNA damage. Just last week I circulated a piece written by 3 scientists, Professor Alia Hansen from the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, Dimitris Panagopoulos from the University of Athens in Greece, and George Carlin in Washington. And their paper says that the standards that are applied for safety are completely wrong because the human body and the cell in the human body is dynamic, it's constantly changing, and it's based on electromagnetism. And when confronted with electromagnetic frequencies, waves, those are constantly changing. So it verges on chaos theory, and they're trying to tell us that it's only harmful you feel the heat from your cell phone, for instance. Feel what they call the thermal effect. Now, I don't have a cell phone. I was given one, and I held it to my head, and I thought, that hurts. That's warm. Well, if you recall, a couple of years ago, Teddy Kennedy died from neuroma, an acoustic neuroma. That means it's a tumor in the ear. It was right where his cell phone, where he held his cell phone the whole time. So, just as an aside, I know I'm supposed to be talking about smart meters, but it's all interrelated. So, for those of you who have a cell phone, and if you're so insistent, keep it an inch away from your head, and don't use it any more than 6 minutes a day. And just as a cautionary tale, last week it was on the news where a young Chinese woman was playing a game on her cell phone. I don't know if you heard about this, but she was laying on her stomach for 4 hours playing the game on her cell phone, and her breast implants exploded. So we take it for what it is. Autism is one. Now this is one, and this brings up a major point. Where else in the world do they have SNAs? I don't know of any. Ireland is an incubation center for this kind of technology. So to assign SNAs to children who have autism is a way to quiet opposition and for people to stop asking questions. Why does my child have autism? Okay. Now, I don't know if any of you are familiar with this particular condition, but it has to be one of the most heartbreaking for any parent to deal with an autistic child. Brain tumors is another one. As I said, with children, they're 75% of the way into their brains, how far these microwaves penetrate. And what's happening here is the minister, Rory Quinn, Minister for Education. He's rolling out the Wi-Fi in the classroom, and children are going to be sitting in front of iPads. Books don't matter anymore. It's the electronics. And he says, this is the way we do education. Well, if that's the way we do education, what about the French people who are taking this stuff out of the classroom because they think it's dangerous? Why is Ireland and the children of Ireland, why are they being subjected to this when there are such massive questions? And why are the French, are they that much smarter than the Irish? No, it's just they're being told the truth, and they're saying no to protecting their kids, which is what every normal human being should be doing, instead of a minister, by the way, whose brother is head of CEO of ESB, Lachlan Quinn. So, make of that what you will. Cancer, leukemia. This is another one that's new, and they don't have it any place else in the world that I'm aware of. Now, there's a disease called the dropping dead, is what they're calling it in Scotland. Sudden adult death syndrome. Okay, now, to give you just a small idea of how this affects us. My wife and I were driving up along the back road up near Clondalkin in a place called Ronanstown. I don't go up there much. But simultaneously, we had someone in the back seat, so we had a witness, in other words. Simultaneously, my wife says, "What was that? My head feels like it's going to explode." And for me, the road in front of me became wavy, kind of like you'd see in the film where the sun is beaten down on a desert road. That was the exact effect simultaneously. We were right near, very close in fact, to the Ronanstown Garda station, where they know that 36 people have died. Guards have been transferred when they've kicked up about it. And what that signifies is that poor neighborhoods, poorer people are not able, they don't recognize it soon enough, they don't recognize what's happening to them. And they can test in those areas, where in middle-class areas where I live, we kicked up, and we got all of the other masks that they were going to put on the Garda masks. We stopped it, because our Garda station faces 3 primary schools. So poor people are particularly vulnerable to this, and Ireland as an incubation center is there's no one checking, so they can research in a live environment. Now, they did that 7 years ago here, or in that loan, with a technology called broadband over power line. And that is a particularly dirty form of electromagnetic radiation. But it was done in that loan, and no one knew anything about it because you can't see it. So sudden adult death syndrome, my point there is that we have children dropping dead, and we don't know why. And that brings up another issue here. We've got the health service executive has instructed all the hospitals, the medical profession, that there are only 2 ways to treat people who are concerned about their health and electromagnetic sensitivity. One is by medication. Doctor, I'm feeling low, or my blood pressure is up. My child has autism, and the doctor will give a tablet or put you on a particular path. The other way they're dealing with it in Ireland is you are referred to a psychiatrist. So it's either a physical ailment that can be treated pharmaceutically, or it's a psychological problem, and we're going to label you, and then we can ignore you. Now, last week, and actually James was there, he was when the woman rang, Lucan has become the first free Wi-Fi village in the country. They had planned to do it several years ago in Dublin, and activists in California got a stop in San Francisco, and the day after it was blocked in San Francisco, Dublin dropped the plans. So now they are doing it surreptitiously through the back door, through the county councils, and making Wi-Fi free in Lucan. I didn't hear one person ask for it. I didn't see a poster up demanding it. I didn't see people gathering, complaining, we want Wi-Fi, we want Wi-Fi. It's being imposed. And that brings up another set of questions that I'm not going to address here. So, James?